Hello. Let us look at the good practices for requirement engineering from the analysis point of view. Requirement analysis involves refining the requirements to ensure that all stakeholders understand all the requirements, and then you can check them for the errors, omissions, or other deficiencies. Analysis includes decomposing high level requirements into appropriate level of details, building prototypes, evaluating feasibility, and then negotiating the priorities. The goal is to develop requirements of sufficient quality and precision that managers can construct realistic project estimates and technical staff can proceed with design, construction, and testing. It is a very valuable input, or it is a very valuable thing to represent some of the requirements in multiple ways, for example, in both textual as well as the visual form. These different views will reveal insights and problems that no single view can provide. Multiple views also help all stakeholders to arrive at a common understanding, which can be a shared vision of what they will have when the product is delivered. So the first good practice is to model the application environment. The context diagram is a simple analysis model that shows how the new system fits into its environment. It defines the boundaries and interfaces between the system which is being developed and the external entities such as users, hardware devices, and other systems. An ecosystem map which can show the various systems in the solution space that interact with each other and the nature of their interconnections. The second good practice is to create a user interface and technical prototypes. So when developers or the users are not certain about the requirements, you can construct a prototype, which is a partial or possible or preliminary implementation to make the concepts and possibilities more tangible. Prototypes allow developers and users to achieve a mutual understanding of the problem which is being solved, as well as helping to validate the requirements. The third good practice is to analyze requirements feasibility. The business analyst should work with the developers to evaluate the feasibility of implementing each requirement at acceptable cost and performance in the intended operating environment. Now, this allows the stakeholders to understand the risks associated with implementing each requirement, including conflicts and dependencies with other requirements. There can be some dependencies on external factors and technical obstacles also. Now, requirements that are technically infeasible or overly expensive to implement can perhaps be simplified and still contribute to achieving the project's business objectives. The next good practice is to prioritize the requirements. Now, it is important to create priorities for the requirements to ensure that the team implements the highest value or the most timely functionality first. Apply an analytical approach to determine the relative implementation of the priorities of the product features in terms of use cases, user stories, or functional requirements. Now, based on priority, you can determine which release or which increment will contain each feature or a set of requirements. You can also adjust the priorities throughout the project as new requirements are proposed and as customer needs or market conditions or business goals evolve. The next good practice is to create a data dictionary. So definitions of the data items and structures associated with the system resides in the data dictionary. This enables everyone working on the project to use consistent data definitions. As requirements are developed, the data dictionary should define data items from the problem domain to facilitate communication between the customers and the development team. The next good practice is to model the requirements. An analysis model, it is a diagram that depicts requirements visually, in contrast to the textual representation of list of functional requirements. Now, models can reveal incorrect or inconsistent or missing or unknown requirements. Such models include data flow diagrams, entity relationship diagrams, state transition diagrams, state tables, dialog maps, decision trees, and multiple other tools. Now, the next good practice is to analyze interfaces between your system and the outside world. So all software systems have connections to other parts of the world through external interfaces. Information systems have user interfaces and often exchange data with other software systems. Embedded systems involve interconnections between software and hardware components. Network connected applications have communication interfaces. So analyzing these helps make sure that your application will fit smoothly into its environment. And now the last good practice in the case of analysis is to allocate requirements to subsystems. So the requirements for a complex product that contains multiple subsystems must be divided among the various software, hardware, and human subsystems and components. An example of such a product is an access system to a secure building that includes magnetic or optical badges, scanners, video cameras, recorders, door locks, human guards, and multiple other things. So these are a few of the good practices from the analysis point of view.